call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. If you are an attorney and do not want this call recorded, please hang up and call 570-963-6639, extension 4522, or extension 0 after business hours. Thank you for using Global Tel-Link.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Shawn.
Hey, buddy. I'm good. I'm not awake yet either. I only had like two quick things I wanted to bring up today. I guess on my case for my appeal, somebody supposedly retained me a lawyer, so I'm waiting for his lawyer to put an entry of appearance in on my case right now. So hopefully I'll have more on that by next week. So I'm hoping it pans out because I just have a terrible time with court-appointed lawyers. So I'm hoping that this actually works out and doesn't just be a coyote.
Wow, that's good news. So I hope it's a good lawyer, and I hope whoever's doing this. I guess you know who they are. I mean, you don't have to mention their name, but you know who this. You trust them, obviously. So.
I haven't got a chance to actually speak with him in person yet. I mean, I'm hoping it's not more FBI nonsense, but like I said, hopefully I'll know more by next week and get. I don't keep you too long this morning, but the reason I'm calling is I've been watching that. Sorry, a little stuffed up today. Weather change. I've been watching that Kentucky case with Breonna Taylor, and I don't get like what I see on the news here. So like, I don't have enough information to like make an informed decision or give like a major opinion on it. What I think keeps popping up is how the FBI and the DOJ, I guess, are investigating the warrant that was served, and it came out that the information in the warrant that was provided, that there was no corroborating evidence that this information was factual. Like, they were putting information in the warrant, and there was no proof that that information existed. And it's kind of something that, like, I take very personal, because I had that happen in my case. I had that the feds actually come in on a state search warrant for my state case at the time, my cell case. And the feds came in on that state warrant, and there was information provided that said I had associates, I was making phone calls to people, and it came out that I never called the dude wasn't an associate, I had my phone records subpoenaed, the information was false, the pen register that said the obtained was never obtained, and unfortunately in my case, the DOJ is doing nothing about it. But it's kind of like why I've been taking that case personal, watching it in the news, because it's really disheartening to see how much the police get away with in this country, and nobody holds them accountable for it.
Right. Yeah, it happens over and over and over again. Yep. I think I heard there's not going to be any policeman directly indicted in the Breonna Taylor case, so they never hold anybody accountable within the police force.
Because they did it prematurely, and I don't think the Attorney General should have been out and about at the RNC. I think the Attorney General should have been actually looking for justice. I can see why it was out there, but the thing is they did it premature, because you can't indict the officers until you find out if that warrant was illegal. Because if the warrant was illegal, it becomes premeditated murder for any officer that knew, and it most likely was the head detective that knew. The other officers might not have known. You go in that house, somebody starts filing, you can't be in that house because the warrant you obtained was illegal. And so you're not going to be able to have justice until they really figure out what was going on with that warrant. And, I think it's something that both sides might be at fault, and it's hard for me to explain that without knowing more. The bottom line is the cops shouldn't have got a warrant in the first place to go in there based on false information. And, it upsets me because, they want to attack the Confederate flag. They want to make this a racial issue. And I'll tell you something, man. It was not the Confederate flag that got that woman shot. She was an EMT. It was the Thin Blue Line. It got those people shot because, actually her shot, because that was just that was uncalled for us, and I hope this isn't smoke and mirrors. I hope the DOJ does do something. That it's just like the tough thing with the DOJ, man, is with this political season. Neither political side wants to go after the DOJ. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, neither side wants to go after the cops. Both of them are just worshiping the cops. And it's like, if I was out and about, I probably wouldn't even vote this year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So we will hopefully we'll get something with that, and I'll be on. Hopefully, maybe next week if I'm still here the week after. If I hear some news of my case, I'll get in touch with you guys and let you guys know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're still at Lackawanna, man. But it seems like they take their sweet time.
Yeah, guys. I mean, it's partly COVID, and it's partly, the problem they have with my appeal is, if my appeal goes well, they can only keep blocking my appeal for so long. If my appeal goes well, or even somewhat well, it leads to over a decade of law enforcement corruption. I mean, like in my case, I have U.S. Marshal corruption going back 10 years. I filed 2 lawsuits against the U.S. Marshals. And then instead of them backing up or doing anything, backing off the case, they continued to do more illegal stuff. And I can actually trace how the corruption in the U.S. Marshals alone goes up to Washington, D.C., and the Special Operations Group and the legal division run by Jared Auerbach, or whatever his name is. I have that. I can show that in my case. That's part of the reason they're not moving me or doing anything. They just want to trying to figure out a way to mitigate the circumstances, and they can't really do it. But one thing they will never do is break me. And that's why they hate me so much, because they can't break me, they can't make me compliant, and they never got a clean bust with me. So we'll see what happens with it. But I'll be in touch if I hear anything new. I guess I just wanted to get that off my chest this morning about the Breonna Taylor stuff, guys. It hit me personally because, man, I came home and my family was terrified and my cat was dead. And, I consider the fully members of the family members too. But I know if I would have came home and a flesh and blood human being family member would have been dead, I'm not even going to say what I would have done. The people who know me know what would have happened. And, it's just, like I said, I hope there's some type of justice in that case, because we just can't let cops continue to act outside of the law. I mean, it's one thing to do vigilante justice, it's another thing to make stuff up and go to court for warrants for it. I believe there's another case in Texas a couple years ago where actually a cop did the same stuff where he actually put false information in a warrant and cops got signed out of it. So it happens a lot, but they do need to be held accountable for it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad to hear they ain't going to break you, but there's we have a lot of other prisoners where, not a lot, but there's a few that they also don't compromise. And Ed Brown, right? Ed Brown's got a hearing in 5 days on the 29th, I believe. And he has that attitude. They're not going to break him, and he's not going to compromise. And they don't want to let him out, right? They lie. They do whatever they can do, and sometimes it's very illegal to keep people like that in prison, because they don't want those people to be free, to be able to speak freely and to teach others. So I pray.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off already, but when I was in with Ed, what they did was they used to keep floating him around with different people and trying to put cellmates in with him to get information out of them and put him in the hole for no reason. And after I left, they sent him to FCI Gilmer, which is probably the worst FCI in the country. It's actually ran like a USP. So I've just watched them with him. They don't like him because I saw some of his legal stuff, and he has a lot of good points that they don't want people to understand. He has one good point about how the U.S. Marshals weren't even allowed to operate as law enforcement in the state of New Hampshire. He showed me the law, he has the law, and that's why I hate him. And it's sad because we're at we're at that revolutionary phase in our country where you're now seeing people who are criminals, people who are alleged to be criminals, people who are under indictment or criminal complaints. You're seeing them at the Republican National Convention speak. So you're seeing that kind of going back to where we were in the American Revolution, where we're putting people up who are labeled by one group or part of society as criminals, as our heroes. And what I'm trying to say is it's sad because Ed Brown is labeled a criminal, but when you look at what he did, there was a lot of mitigating factors in his case that they did that they shouldn't have did. They shouldn't have did him like that. And at the end of the day, he's a man in his 70s. Like, let this man out. Let him live the last bit of his life in freedom. And nobody's doing that for him. And it really just, it hurts me. I mean, unfortunately, if he doesn't get out soon, he'll die in prison. And it's really sad. But like, I've watched firsthand the games that they play with him. And he's a dude. I mean, he's very hard-headed. I'll give him that. I mean, we used to have a lot of talks about the law, and he's very hard-headed, but he's a good dude. Like, he got that New Hampshire kind of East Coast kind of like hard-headed stubbornness. But I mean, he's a good dude. I mean, I watched him play with people. And the FBI, man, once the FBI gets you, they never let you go. It's like with me. It's just so many games that I can't even go into right now that we've caught them playing. So, like, my family fact-checks everybody. They fact-check people. They put stuff in writing. That's just the stuff that they're telling me that we've caught them with. Like, they won't give up. And, like in my case, instead of them just coming out and charging the cops responsible, they want to just play cover-up. And that's just the DOJ game that they're doing. I mean, we're not going to fix it with Trump. We're not going to fix it with Biden. I mean, we're going to fix it when you finally see a government that will hold its own accountable. Like if you look at like society and how we've changed. Like I grew up watching Bonanza, the old Western TV show, and I remember when there was one episode, I believe it was Adam Cartwright, and they had a bad U.S. Marshal, okay, and he killed this guy. He was a citizen. He killed a cop because the guy was acting illegally. And in the same series, we also see Adam Cartwright as a U.S. Marshal in another episode. And, like, I like that because they showed, like, the 60s and 70s, they're showing it, hey, sometimes we got cops that are so bad that a citizen has the right to put that officer down because that cop is acting so bad. And then it shows that the citizen got actually vindicated. He was a good guy. He did the right thing. And then in another episode, he's working as law enforcement, showing that people are not perfect. And sometimes people do things that are so bad that other people have to put them down. And, now we have this opinion in society that if you do anything against a thin blue line officer, that good just this untouchable class of people in our society. And that's where the problem comes down to, because now we got a group of people that if they come in your home and they shoot your family member and you shoot back at them, you get charged. Or if they violate your civil rights and you try to stand up because you're getting your civil rights trampled upon and you value your freedom, you're labeled the bad guy. You're labeled anti-American. I've had that. I went for a decade where I have a decade of court filings. That makes it so hard for me to put down a timeline because I've got so much stuff going on. That, like, I have a decade of court filings where I have tried to fight the government in court, and it got to the point that it set me up so bad that I had no choice for my personal safety but to leave the area that I was in because I knew that they were trying to set me up. They were trying to put me down. They were trying to do very bad things that I could prove they were doing. And it's really sad, but I think it'll break, man. Like I say, it can only protect the cops so much, and the Republicans can only do it. And sooner or later, people are going to find out it's not a racial issue. It is a blue issue. And it will change, but it's just riding a storm out until it does.
Yeah, it's very powerful what you said about the Bonanza episode, man. So yeah, we've been holding off sending you books because we don't know where you're gonna land permanently, but let us know wherever that is, and we'll keep an eye open too. So we're praying for you, man. I know things are crazy right now, and I like what you said about. They think they're a class of people that are untouchable, but that can't go on forever. We just got to ride out the storm. That's powerful, Shawn.
Hopefully, man. Like I said, it's the domino effect, and So that's what I'm just hoping with my case. I grab the things that are most obvious, and, sooner or later, whether it's the pen register and the short ones to get lied on, or whether it's one of the deviant female officers that like to send naughty pictures and naughty text messages, whether it's that information that comes out, whether it's any number of facts, and it'll bring down everything else, and it'll pick you enough that good so scared of me, they know if any of it breaks, that I'll be out of prison the same day it does. So I'll keep running. I'll keep pushing on them, man. It's always like in like special forces they teach you that you always hit the weakest link in your chain. You always put every bit of energy you have in the weakest link, and you can fight a superior force by doing that if you hit them in the right place. And same thing. We just have to remember that the right evidence. Well, I guess I'll let you go, and then, like I said, if I hear something next week, I'll let you know. If not, like I said, I'll let you know as well. So, I appreciate you taking my call. I appreciate you guys doing what you do.
No problem, Shawn. We love you. We pray for you, and I hope this lawyer thing works out and bears some fruit, man. So, God bless you, Shawn. Good.
Yeah, love you guys too. God bless you, buddy.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.